Disciplined stoners. What's your discipline? You a stoner? That's cool. So are we.
I'm high a lot. It's weird to finally say that with pride. I'm high a lot. Being high has helped me with my anxiety. It's helped my social skills.
Love and light. Welcome to Disciplined Stoners Podcast with your host, Ellevan.
And my name is Winnie.
And we are the gateway drug to mindfulness.
And welcome back to another episode of Disciplined Stoners.
I'm your host, Ellevan.
My name is Winnie, and we are the gateway drug to mindfulness.
And today...
Great morning. This is the coffee episode that we've always wanted.
We've always dreamt of getting up early and cleaning and putting together some cappuccinos and having one of our favorite pre-rolls and it just sneaks up on you.
It just sneaks up on you, you know? Happy Friday, everybody.
Those manifestations that you pray for, that you wish for, or just your day now.
Yeah.
Or just what you're living.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not in the moment. That's
Yeah.
a trip.
It is a trip.
I've gotten into beefs on tour halfway, actually completely around the world.
I know.
Like nothing ever is good enough. But also everything's good enough.
Yeah.
Because it is, whether you care about it in one light or another.
I think this is just something that you and I are really exploring. I don't know if anyone out there has had like a rough week this week.
Oh my God.
But-
It's November 11th, the day.
Yes. Happy rest RIP to all our veterans. It's Remembrance Day here in Canada.
Day, right. Yes, of course, honor to that. But I always feel like 11/11 is I'm 11. So it's always, of course, a big move. But it's more of like an energy portal for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just did a 11/11 meditation.
We, at one time in our lives, thought we would get married on this day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and tried to celebrate it as our anniversary, but no. Anyway, Winnie's grabbing the joint. She's ready to rock.
Why not?
What do we got there?
We have Black Market's Jealousy, which is interesting because I have been a little jealous puppy over the last couple of weeks.
Have you?
Yes. Have you not noticed?
Nah, I just wanted you to talk about it. I have noticed.
Yeah. Holy, what a sensation jealousy is. First of all, let's talk about this before we get into that.
This sensation of this weed is amazing?
Yeah.
Or jealousy, the feeling? Or both? Let's talk about both.
Let's talk about jealousy from Black Market because I want to get in partnership with Black Market. I think that our values with weed and their values with weed align.
Good luck, everyone.
Shout out, Allie. I'm going to send this to you. And then we'll maybe... brainstorm on how we can work together. But jealousy is beautiful. I think they called it jealousy because if you see this flower, you're like,
Look
wow.
at the oils.
Yeah.
The paper is completely stained up. It's beautiful.
If you are in a group of people and you don't have this joint or flower, you are jealous that you don't. I think that's why they named it that.
That makes sense for me.
I don't actually know what the crosses are.
It's purpley. It's aromatic, and it almost has a pinene, not actually more like terpinolene over pinene. But geez, it has some delicious terps. I'm really excited to fire this up. First joint of the day. You caught us in the morning.
I love how Black Market,
Get your joints, guys. Blaze up with us. Let's do this sesh. Love you.
they're really focused on hybrid strains, which if you're a everyday smoker or familiar
If you're
with,
a full-time stoner like us.
yeah, they're
Oh my God, it tastes so good.
their indica
Nuts.
hybrids are really functional during the day, in my opinion. It's not gonna and let me preface this by saying, if you are a familiar THC user, if you're a
If
new
you're not,
user,
you're gonna get flattened.
yeah, if you're a new user, this shit's gonna hit you pretty hard, which is also fun in its own right.
I don't always give it to my dad even.
Yeah.
He's an old school smoker. Anyone who started smoking weed in the 70s, this shit's gonna cross-eye him because they're just not used to such the robust terp profile. It's not about THC. It is when it's psychoactivity measuring, but don't shop for THC. Shop for the terpenes that are in it.
Yeah, I really love the sweetness on the exhale.
Yeah. Nice and sweet. It is sweet all the way through this whole thing.
So, good topic of conversation,
Yeah,
jealousy. What happens in a relationship where you just like cannot handle seeing either your partner's like success? I don't think we're ever really jealous about one another's success, but I've gotten really jealous with other women like around you recently, and like that's kind of embarrassing for me to say.
Thank you for appreciate that.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. I admit that all the fucking time. I feel
know.
like I'm the bad jealous one out of us. So for you to admit that, thank you.
I mean, listen, you were right off the bat, you were very jealous when we first started dating 14 years ago.
I grew up very, very influenced by Italian and Black culture. And
Yeah.
There's nothing in there that says you should share your woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been really experiencing it kind of over the last couple like years, but definitely like this last months or so.
Because I'm getting hotter because I'm getting older.
I just feel so jealous. Like I'm so territorial when he's out. Like normally when we're out together, especially with disciplined stoners now, we're out a lot, and we generally when we go out, we separate and then come back together.
Just because we attract and interact with vastly different energies.
Yes.
Like, and they're both valuable. They've both led to be valuable.
And it expands our network, so it's all good.
Yeah.
But like lately, like if that happens, go ahead. I'm like watching, you know? Like I never would have even just that simple, just like, oh, I'm watching what's going on over there. Like
I used to watch
and
you.
like
I don't watch you anymore.
When might I need to leave my situation and like go over there and like present myself as your mate, you know?
It's very natural what happens.
But why? What happens?
It's bullshit. It's so insecure. It feels the worst for the person going through it.
Yeah.
So as much as you're embarrassed to speak out, dominate, want to divert attention, we're jealous about attention. That's the thing. We're human beings. I really like you and your attention.
Yeah.
I want it. I
Yeah.
want to be part of what you're doing in the future. And I'm not sure if someone's not just over there offering you a better life. So, and this is going on 15 years, 14 years of partnership, and we're still struggling with how to handle this ownership clause that human DNA is snuck into monogamy.
Right. So is it a construct that has developed over the course of time via religion and other things that we are
Social
under?
Social pressure, for sure. When you go out for like little, I call them platonic dates, but whatever, they're hangs or evenings. When you go out for that with your like male friends,
Yeah.
and I have to tell my male friends what you're doing when I'm not with you, it crushes me. It shrinks my penis 2 sizes. And it shouldn't. But the social construct and norm makes me feel less than that a guy is taking my girl out. And it shouldn't. And I feel weak for thinking that. But then it just breaks down to how much I think that guy likes me. And then so same with you, right? Like if you're looking at me talk
if you feel safe with...
If I feel like the guy loves me, or if I texted him, he would text me back, or if he has an ounce of loyalty towards me, I'll feel okay.
Right.
But if that guy, I feel like he wants to compete with me, or he's tried to keep me out in any way, even if it was unintentional, I'm on your fucking ass. Like, I'll break you. Like, if it's too valuable to me, I'll break you. You think your power is in your money, I'll make sure you go broke. You think think you're jacked, I'll fucking stab you in the Achilles heel. Slice your ankle open.
Yeah.
Like, I'm such a violent, vicious person. When it comes to protecting, like, I'll come after you.
Yeah.
Even if she left me, you're my new love. I'll be chasing you until you're fucking finished.
That is so
Like,
toxic.
That's so toxic. I'm only explaining it
No, I
because
know.
I don't want it to be my truth. But that's where I live, and I'm trying to evolve out of it. So I'm just saying I understand that when you're watching me talk to a girl and you're like, is this bitch gonna give a better blowjob than me? Like, what the fuck is the thing, right? Like,
Seriously.
what's the thing? What's the thing that draws us out of who we really are?
Yes.
Which who I really am is like, You find value in this person. That's a friend. That's your choice. I know you'll set boundaries. I know I trust you.
I know.
But like, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. I would love to hear anyone's opinion on
Share
this.
with us. We'd love to hear it.
Please put it in the comments or message us on Instagram.
We're struggling with it. We want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and I've really never been... I've never really had too many of these feelings. Honestly, I feel...
Yeah, you've been pretty good. I've been the jealous one.
I feel more... I've felt more envy or jealousy. I guess this is kind of more along the lines of envy, even with like people in the industry that are doing well. That I feel they're my peers.
You
like
get
my peers
envious more than I do.
Yeah, but that's that's envy is actually much different than jealousy. And I actually didn't really separate the two before I started feeling this jealousy, where it's like, let me make you small and keep you in my pocket for whenever I want to hang. Like, you know what? Like, let me utilize you as like, my thing. And if anyone like tries to get up on that, like, it's on. It's on.
I dig that.
Fuck, I don't dig it.
It's
it made
fucked
me
up.
It's made me feel pretty out of control, and I don't mind feeling out of control in like expansive ways. Like if I'm like this morning, I like laughed hysterically and then cried in my meditation, like, and that felt out of my control, and I allowed that to happen. But like, I even like wanted to be mean to you. Like I wanted.
When?
Thanksgiving.
What happened on Thanksgiving?
I mean, I don't think that we need to go into the details, but I kept myself away. Like I had the awareness to keep myself away from you that day.
Right.
Because I literally wanted to like tell on you. Like I wanted to like tell people like what I felt you did was wrong.
Why I was wrong.
And have people back me up and be like, you're bad. And that feels not nice. Like I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like wanting to do that.
I've been going through a lot of inner child research and figuring out why I am the way I am and so impulsive, reactive, and aggressive. Lots of times. It's so funny because like 80% of this audience is like, what? Ellevan's the most cheery, happy, positive guy in the world. Like he's the nicest rapper I've ever met. That's for sure. He's the least offensive comedian. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not really going to find these parts of me blasted out everywhere, but just like inside.
That's why it's great to talk about it.
Yeah. Inside, I struggle with, well, I guess this manifests on the outside where I'm so rebellious, where like I was the bad kid in school. Like I was the bad kid, like just like not even the problem child that they tried to work with, just the bad kid. Like I didn't even get the counseling where they because you know
they didn't try. They gave up immediately.
Yeah, my parents weren't beating the shit out of me, so I wasn't like a problem kid. I didn't have bruise marks or stab marks, and I had nice clothes. Like I wasn't like a kid they felt like, oh, we got to counsel.
Needed extra attention.
Social services or anything like that. It wasn't that. It was more so just like I'm acting out of order, and it's basically because I'm like unchallenged. So I'm frustrated that the leader, the authority, doesn't provide enough substance for me, and then I do my own thing, and when I do my own thing, it expresses in a creative way, not a structured way, and then they said that was wrong. So that's where it started. So as soon as someone says I'm wrong, just like the fucking vaccine shit, just like the mask shit, whatever side you're on, when someone says you're wrong, you double down on what you already think you're doing. And in situations where Winnie's been, you know, jealous of any, you know, attention I've given someone else, it's such like a immediate, like, you're wrong. And I'm like, yeah. And like I'm already there. There wasn't even a discussion for what I was feeling, what I was getting, what I wasn't getting,
just
and
stop.
what I felt I need. What?
Yeah, just stop doing that. Like no discussion.
Yeah, like
no...
you can't explore this. You just have to.
That's
I'll
it.
Kill you. Like it's like I'll kill you. It's like either stop this or you die. And for me, as a bad kid, I'm like, bring it on, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, even though I love you so much, it's like school, parents, wife, like friends, like I have in a song that I don't give a fuck, I'll fight a friend.
Because those are
Like,
such informative years in our lives.
yeah, like it's pretty much like you can't access me. Like I do have a pretty cold heart in the way where I'm like, oh, I don't like, your opinion means nothing to me. Like I don't give a fuck. But then I love when there's love, but I understand deeply when there's not critique, because I'm always open for intelligent critique. And you know a critique when it's given to you in the true form of a critique, which is with caring love.
Yeah.
And consideration to make the future better. But I don't accept unwarranted feedback for what I'm doing. Even if I'm polite about it on the surface, if it's a professional place, I'll be like, thanks so much for your feedback, and move on and never talk to you again. But like, that's basically where I'm operating from, is like, I have no frame of reference for what's acceptable or not, because I don't believe you anymore. Like, I don't trust you. So when so like, I don't believe you. Like, and then I dropped out of school, and I do better than my teachers did as a fucking lazy artist. Like, well, you know, like, who's right? No one's right. Like, get out of my fucking face. So, you know, if I get, especially lateral, like in a partnership, I think we agree that the overarching element of a future of a partnership or relationship is growth. So you should be like, hey, do you think this is serving you? Because it's not serving me. So let's explore this and what we need and what you're not getting and what I'm getting, and all this shit. All this attention that goes deep into a relationship, friendship, intimate, professional, any relationship. So yeah, it's such a neat, interesting concept. I think a lot of people feel like FOMO or missed out sometimes, even with this new shit with people getting excluded from communities, like ever since the vaccine stuff too. Sorry, that came up twice. I know, bad trigger word. Oh, it was probably got taken off YouTube already. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of communities and friend groups that were so became not so anymore. And I think there's a lot of just that feeling floating around, actually. Mm-hmm. So I'm not surprised it manifested into an episode.
Yeah, and I wonder if how we can shift our perspective to truly believe that although it is not so anymore, that is still the, like, part of the journey. Like, it doesn't always have to be so. I think when people have, like, friendship breakups, like, that's hard, that's tough, right? But, like, if it's not working
that's
anymore,
a normal breakup, just without the sex. And to be honest, sometimes the sex made it easier. So a friendship breakup can feel harder sometimes.
It can really put you out of sorts. But it's just like, it's okay. Like, we don't have to do everything for our entire lives or be one person for our entire lives. I recently told my mom that, like, and I didn't really think about it, but, like, I told her that I was like, I'm sorry, I've changed. Like, that's shocking. Yeah. Because she lived with me for 18 years. Yeah. And I was someone to her in that 18 years. And then I moved away, and it's been 16 years since I've moved away. So it's been almost the same amount of time that she lived with me, that I lived with her. Thank you, Mom. I love you so much. And then
Mama Clark.
that I've lived by myself, and to think that, it seems insane to think that I would not have drastically changed in that time. But at the same time, when you remember something about someone, it's hard to bite that bullet when you're not that to someone anymore.
But how offensive is it that someone tries to keep you under their thumb for their comfort?
Well, I don't think it's that offensive, to be totally honest. I think it's kind of perfectly normal.
It's just selfish.
But it's.
I tried to
hold. It makes sense.
I try to hold a friend. Oh man, especially when you start getting all, like, fucking big, like I am. Ellevan, the brand, the homies I roll with, the people I'm seen with, the things I do, the collaborations I have. That's a whole new level of. You got to mature quick. You got to just not react and shit. You just got to, like, say, hey, well, this is doing well, and.
Fuck, it's so hard not to take things personally.
Exactly. Like, basically, like, you have to be, you want to be professional or personal. That's, like, it. And I want to be professional, like in my life, like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm living for God, and God tells me to do music, and that's what I'm serving, or podcasts and this entertainment media. We're leaving a message here of self-awareness at this time period on Earth. So I'm really happy to be a part in that. And sometimes I devalue my personal time to create this stuff. And that leads to hurt. That leads to extended pain. I grew up in a hustle culture. I also came from relatively like nothing, like where families like savings. What? Weird. So I really had to rebuild or build from a new atmosphere, everything. So I didn't make much room for personal days, inner child work, forgiveness. I've been operating. I had a conversation with my inner child recently for the first time. Like when you meditate and you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. You feel like you've seen God, and it's like, why haven't I been doing this more? And then so I was told by my life coach, Alicia, amazing, Alicia Rep, go check out her podcast.
Shout out, Alicia.
Bless me. She's like, oh, this is inner child stuff that we were talking about. And she's like, have a day with your inner child. And I'm like, what? Like, I've not done this? Like, out of all my mindful babble, that I haven't even done this for myself. Like, I didn't prioritize that because I'm so forward faced. I don't go back there. There's too much to react to. I'm afraid I might change when I see that. So I don't go back.
I mean, it's
fair,
it's
right?
a good point.
It's fair. So, but the fact is that you won't, because you're still your cumulative experiences that you have up to this point, and that's knowledge. That's what knowledge is. Experience. Wisdom is the larger. There's less action in wisdom. There's more action in knowledge. Anyway, so I had this moment with my inner child, and I thought I was gonna court him. I thought I was gonna be, all right, buddy, let's play. Like, I'll take you out, and like, my debit card now is a lot better than, he was growing up, you know what I mean? For the whole family in terms of freedom, how I live my life, So I just went out and I told him whatever. So we went to the dollar store and got a bag of candy, like a full bag of candy. It's just like whatever you want. And that was fun. And we're enjoying our snacks, and we were walking up the street, and I just gave him room, and I could just feel it was me as a kid. It was amazing. And then the script flipped, because he says, "Why are you walking so fast?" And I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm a city boy. Like, we just walk fast. Like, I just walk fast, and there was other people walking fast, and he's like, "Can we slow down?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then so we're walking, and I'm just walking walk like you would in a field, but on the sidewalk. Slow down. Like, give your fucking spine a break, RoboCop. Okay, so we were just walking, and he's asking me. We've all like so from the point I am now. This is me, maybe 5 or 6 or 7, young form, but my coherence was there, but my perspective was there. And he's like, from the age I am now to your age, we've never stopped running. And then I was like, like, there was a more build up to that and a couple stuff in between, but I'll keep that for me. But just like, basically he hit me with like, you've been running this whole time. Like, so you're trying to get me as a kid to live on this future and enjoy this life from where I'm at now by telling me I gotta run around for the rest of my, like, you've been exhausting yourself. You've been giving it all to them. And that was intense. That was a big moment.
Oof.
So I cried.
Yeah.
He held space for me, and I forgave myself for not taking enough breaks. Which is, ultimately what you want to do in your 20s, but I don't know.
Or what we wanted to do in our 20s.
I don't know. Elon Musk says that, so I figured it's a good Bible to stick to, but
Elon, I don't know.
I love that guy.
Fuck.
Anyway,
Thank you for sharing
You're
that.
welcome. Thank you.
That was a beautiful story, and I really appreciate that you shared that with everybody. And if you don't know about inner child work, maybe and resonated with that, like maybe that's something that you could begin to explore. I just wanted to say how hilarious it is sometimes to me that you just drop these lines, but like roll over them, like you just keep fucking going with the story. You said at the beginning of this story, probably about 5 minutes ago, you said there's less action in wisdom.
Yeah.
There's more action in knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? That, like, you said it, and then you kept going with your story. You can watch this back, and I was like I got hit in the forehead with, like, I had to, like, take a moment, and then I wrote it down on my phone. But, like,
So
let's talk about that. Can you expand on that, please? I think that's a huge, beautiful, wonderful concept.
Thank you so much. I feel like you just helped me identify a chapter in my next book that I got to talk about.
Nice.
So knowledge is like matter-based. Knowledge is turn the fire on, turn the pan on, the stove, touch it, and you get burnt, and you know it's non-negotiable. Like, once you burn yourself, someone's like, do it again, it won't burn you this time. You're like, bitch. I like my hand. I know, because of I experienced and observed firsthand, I know that shit burns me. So that's knowledge. So that's going to go into my action base moving forward. What I am or not going to do, and the plans I make based on knowledge, that's a fact. You know, if you drive down that road east, you're going to go to the beaches here, and then if you go that way, you're going to end up in Etobicoke. It's a fact. It's knowledge. It's fine, and it's good to use knowledge. But wisdom often leads to non-action, which, I mean, that could be the contrary of not touching the flame, but I rather mean the void of the thought in the first place.
Do you think that sometimes non-action leads to wisdom?
No, because it took wisdom to do non-action. So yes, it's a cycle. Wisdom leads to wisdom. Yes, for sure. Yeah, I can't remember. Sorry, that I had a nice little storybook ending for the two, but
you'll come back to it.
Anyway, wisdom is often something that can be received from outside of your own experiences. And and like you don't have to make the mistake of the burn to benefit from it.
Ooh.
So like wisdom will offer a philosophical insight. That's often where I'm sitting. So when I bring an issue, if I ever bring an issue to someone, I'm like, philosophically, I'm stuck. Like that's what's bugging me about something. It's like I'm trying to think about the wisdom of the situation, and I can't see it. I can't. So the situation must be wrong. Like that's how I identify situations that are like right or wrong in my opinion. Like the situation, you know what I'm saying? I'm like philosophically, I'm like the jealousy. Back to the jealousy thing is what I'm saying. Is like going on like consistent dates with people who don't like me. Like it's like, yo, philosophically, it doesn't make sense any way that you cut it. Like the energy's not right for me. But like most situations, like I said about that political professional friendship thing, that philosophically makes sense. Is it kind? Yeah. Is it true? The work's true, so I work for the work, and is it necessary? Yeah, sometimes you gotta be a soldier and shut the fuck up. That's necessary. So I identify where my wisdom guides me, and philosophies are kind of like pillars in my life that I like really enjoy living by. And I check in on them often as well. So knowledge is short term, wisdom is long term. Yeah, so knowledge is facts in the third dimension. I have knowledge of how to use this. If you give this to someone who doesn't have the knowledge to use it, it's as good as a brick.
Yes.
Means nothing. So the wisdom would be learn how to use this before you invest in one financially. Like the wisdom is like, or watch, like, the wisdom I knew about this is I got people who were smarter than me, meaning had more knowledge about that. I got them to use it first, and I watched them. So I was wise by observing instead of taking action.
Okay. I
Non-action.
love that.
Yeah,
that was beautiful. It hit
that's
me.
The, That's the pragmatic. I could go more spiritual, but that's the pragmatic explanation I think you're asking for.
Yeah, because I told you yesterday that I feel like I'm living the most creatively that I ever have in my adult life.
It looks so good on you.
And when you said that, I was like, this requires wisdom rather than knowledge to do this right now, because there is an aspect of faith that needs to be trusted in this pursuit of creativity, expansion.
You're not going to get the next goal with your own two hands. You know, you're going to get it with, like, the harmony of, like, some crazy energy that just works out for you.
Yeah, and boy, is that a place of constant growth for me right now. Because I'm unfamiliar with it, and it'll get familiar, and I'm trusting that it will.
Trust.
But wowza, and also on that point, I can see the benefits. Especially spiritually.
Big time. Just the challenge,
mentally,
the benefit in the challenge, or the benefit in the outcome?
No, the benefit in the outcome, especially
because find benefit in the challenges.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm building thicker skin.
It's like my understanding has expanded like 700 times from where it was.
It's exponential.
Yeah, it's huge. And that I never could have gotten there if I wasn't following this path. I believe that because I've been trying so hard for so long.
Speak on some situations that presented themselves to you.
In terms of outcome?
In terms of, like, when you trusted, or you don't have to if they're too personal, but...
Yeah, it is a personal journey, but just things like, that's where I'm talking spiritually. I feel so, like...
Or what do the opportunities
there is,
look like
in
to
my
grow?
chest, there's, like, a calling that I've never felt so...
inclined to follow?
So willing. Not inclined, so willing to follow. And so that, because I've always felt inclined to follow it, I just thought that I had to live both lives. I thought that I had to...
Who broke you?
I thought that I had to do everything.
Who broke you?
I mean, that's a pretty patriarchal woman thing to do, you know? Like, the New Age woman also took on the career, but did not stop everything at home as well. So it's this sort of like when we think we have to live two lives if that's what you want to do, like, kudos to you, and like, wow, good job. I just think that for me in my life right now, it's like the first time that I've really moved into only one lane, and I don't feel like I'm separate from myself.
That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so good to see you go through this growth. I find it cool to note for people that Winnie is kind of the conservative moral groundedness of this household. Like, so she...
Shocker.
Yeah, she holds the structure, which is funny because often I think the men in, like, classic union...
I know, so we were already outside of constructs.
We're already different, very different.
Yeah.
And, like, me being the stay-at-home artist, like, for many years, and you being, like, more the structured workforce for many years, literally patiently waiting until I became a sustainable entrepreneur.
Both of us
Like,
were hoping that the other would do what we were doing. So he was like, I want you to do more of what I'm doing, like, become this artist. And I was like, I want you to do more of what I'm doing. Like,
get a consistent thing. And it's just like, yeah, it's like how you manage your lives, whatever, like, just like the basis, the real life shit, like how, you know, income and all that shit, like how you manage it, and what, and if you guys are on the same page in terms of, like, goals, or even if you're the type of people that both don't have any, I mean, set yourself some cool, fun ideas just because it feels good. But like, honestly, yeah, no pressure on that shit. More so just like anything. If you guys idealistically aren't always in alignment, there can definitely be cause for stress there. There can, like, the tension that builds because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like,
and then we solved
basic
that problem.
human rights, right?
Then we solved that problem and we found other stuff to argue about.
Yeah, for sure.
Back to jealousy.
I did just want to say, because we are still...
But that took us about 10 years to get on the same page.
Yeah. And just like, I'm being fully transparent, like, we're still pretty youthful in our financial wealth. We are in a good position, and I'm really proud of us.
But it's just so contextual. Like, that statement is like...
No, but what I...
As far as, you know, Manhattan's terms.
But no, for sure. But what I want to say, though, is, like, if someone is resonating with that, like, just start creating a savings. Like, literally.
If you have more than $20, you're more rich than someone in the, you know?
I think, and also, like, literally,
so
if you put $1 a week, like, if you put $4 away into something else every day, like, it feels so silly, but actually,
you just
like,
gotta start.
Just start right now.
It's so awkward.
Do it.
I was so
awkward.
bad with money as an artist, guys. I would get like a gig and I make like a couple $1,000, like, back, like, fuck, you know, when it. And that was so exciting to me, like 703. And then, like, I couldn't wait to spend every fucking cent. Like an idiot. Well into my 20s.
Oh, yeah.
Until you're almost completely flat broke again is when you don't think about it.
This is getting me in my injury right now. That's the feeling of how, like, because you resist, right?
But
you don't want to look at it. You don't want to look at it.
So let's look what healthy sounds like. I mean, and we're so well in our journey, like, early in our journey is when he says, but basically, if you get a chunk or a paycheck or you receive some sort of income or consistent profit that builds up to a certain number, whatever ways, there's so many ways to receive income. It's crazy that people have just one job. Anyway, sorry, that's just me. You know, when you get that, now I'm like, fuck, pull in like 80% of it, and, you know, whatever you got to keep for taxes, keep, and like, and then put the rest in either like a savings or investments or something. Dude, like, hold it. I'm excited now more to hold it than ever, and that's embarrassing. But, like, not really, because I had a lot of fun just blowing money.
And we had to start somewhere, too. Like,
and this was like at about 30.
Yeah.
Like, we started to, like, slowly, like, not even the light came on. It was like, you know, a basement light. You first turn it on, and it's like...
Yeah.
You know, so it took a couple years to even start a momentum.
But I think 30's pretty good, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you know...
And then,
also...
you know what? Give yourself that 20% or whatever you decide it is. 10%, 20%, 30%, whatever you need. Like, after bills and all that shit. Whatever money you have to spend, we'll say. Because, like, that, I say 80% invest. Like, taxes, like, bills, like, savings. Like, yeah, just necessary shit. Weed for me. But this portion to, like, spend, make sure you spend it, right? Make sure to have fun, because the human reward system in your DNA, if you're not getting anything for your inner child, and hey, who the fuck am I to give financial advice? Fair. But I am like an artist who's managed to find some form of sustainability, and it's definitely based on rewarding myself because I feel good because I did the gig. So it makes me want to do the next gig even better. Yeah. So you got to treat yourself too. I just want to throw that in there.
And just, like, also acknowledge your hard work. And, like, if you hold debt, I do. Not a bad thing. Like, let's reorganize the way that we feel about our debt. Don't not look at it. Look at it every day. Start looking at it every day. Just be aware of it and say, oh, I love paying my debt. And then make your minimum payments if that's all you can do. That's going to, you know, not fuck with your credit then.
When he looks at it as a storage locker.
Yeah.
You know how you pay for, like, a storage locker to hold your physical shit?
Yeah.
Such a good analogy.
I'm paying a storage fee with my interest.
Feel good about just, like, chipping away at it.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Don't be afraid of it.
You're paying for good credit.
Yeah.
Because your credit has consistently raised. And
I'm back up to excellent.
You know, and so that helps everything, and that's great. For me, I don't hold any debt whatsoever, even in the streets. My reputation is clean. No, so, like, I don't, but, like, I didn't have access to like the credit lines or the credit cards that Winnie did, because she was off to a better start than I did. So I fucked up way early, like one credit card, and they just like put me on the black. I was like, perfect, never. Like I'm gonna hustle in cash for like my whole life. And I was like, I'm still pretty much.
And now we're
there.
buying bricks of gold.
Pretty much, yeah. You got to, I got to have some gold around. But I don't know, man. I like money is certainly not everything, but it is important just to have that level of safety to take a breath, man. I don't think I took a whole deep breath in my whole life until 30.
Yeah.
Like until I was sitting on some racks where you're just like, okay, I can pay rent several times. I can have whatever I want when I go out. Like just that feeling. That's really nice, like just that, and then you work towards the car, and then you work towards whatever. But like,
and it really
nice.
comes with like changing your like fear around it too, and like
your relationship
and like
with
I
it.
said,
your
like
your lower chakra has to adapt to saying I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay. And I'm well. I'm okay.
And it
takes years.
It does. And it's the same thing when Ellevan first started meditating. He was literally meditating for a minute at one time. So that's the same thing, right? Like $1 a minute. Like it doesn't maybe seem significant to our intellectual brains.
But the action does it. It's knowledge. You have to build the knowledge because the wisdom is there. The wisdom is there. You know you should save, but like my next book says, awareness versus implementation. The implementation is building the habit, the pattern, the knowledge, the learning.
Yeah. Get a tax-free savings account. Put $4 a month in it. You can do that. Seriously.
What's a couple $100 at the end of the year? Like that's cool. If just every year, if that's just there.
What you find is that you start getting excited and then you start putting more in. So it does exponentially grow. But like that, the first little while, same thing. It's the growing pains. You're like, oh, there's $8 in there after 2 months. Like, you know what I mean? But that's the growing pains. It's fine. Like,
I swear, like I use gratitude to manifest a lot of money, like when I was busking especially. Oh my god, like that was like I had some $500 days.
Good thing I can just always send you out in the street.
Basically, I'm like, when I found that, I think I found so much. I think it really put me in my sacral chakra, because I was like, I can use my creativity. Hear it. What?
You can use your creativity?
Yeah. I can use my creativity to like pay the bills, like it says the street, says the general public. And I was like, wow, I'm a rhyme hooker. I love this. I can go out. And I swear, I said to myself, I'm like, I'm going to do this until like I blow up like super big, until like I can't even be on the street without being recognized and like mobbed by fans. And I was ready to just do that like my job until then, but the universe had a different plan for me. It just like pretty much fired me. Like I'm so in tune with nature, and I ride the waves of prosperity of nature so authentically that even like recently, like a client pretty much let me go, like on the day that we were gonna renew the contract, and I was just like, thank you so much for our time together. Like thank you for co-creating this beautiful, couple months we had. Like I'm happy to let go what's not working as well. And I think that's always played in my favor. Any job I barely had jobs. I just went to where Winnie was working, and they also offered me a job. But I've never lasted more than a month in a job because I'm just like, I don't want to do this.
Well, I don't think it's I don't want to do this. I think it's your like core value of freedom, where as soon as you feel
if it's violated, unless I smash you in the fucking face, I'm not putting up with it. Like, you gotta know, fuck you. Or, no, boss person, you want me to take shit from you? Oh, god damn.
Also, I just want to make a quick observation that both of us have been able to much more easily access anger with our intake of meat.
Say that again.
I'm just observing.
Say that again.
Yeah, we've been able to access anger a lot easier with how much meat that we're eating.
And my muscles are tighter and more.
Again, not nutritionists. We're just noticing what's going on with us and telling you.
Yeah. Like we did a boxing class. That felt really good. I was smoking that fucking bob, and I didn't even stretch beforehand. But like I noticed when I eat meat, like my muscles or my tendons are a little more inflamed. So it's like since that boxing class, the soreness I've had like in my like
Interesting.
thigh.
Yeah. Or when you eat too much, I think is where we just got to. I think we got a little bit addicty to meat.
But it feels good.
It tastes good for my brain. Come on.
It does, and it's like sweet. And I observe that like it is nature. But anyway, dude, what a good conversation.
What a great
What about
conversation.
jealousy though? Where do we'd love to know where you guys land on that.
Yeah, like what do you do? Do you have tools? How do you communicate?
Like-
how are you not assholes to one another?
Yeah, does it bug you when your partner gives attention to someone else? Because I have this running theory that like monogamy is organized favorably to cause fights.
No, I mean, yes
Here's
and
the
no,
thing.
yes.
It's a natural human inkling to want to learn. And if you learn through people like I do and I know you do, like when you can access someone and ask them questions, it's super valuable. But monogamy tells you this one person's supposed to be your end all be all. And
a lot of pressure.
yeah, well, it's not only pressure, it's also just a little stagnant. It's boring. It's outdated. And where's the line? I think in the third dimension, we draw the line at physical sexual nature, right? Like, what's cheating? Because if that's the case, then there's definitely a timeline where that's fine, and the emotional codependency, the being seen and feeling heard by someone is super intimate.
But then you still have to, like, I know when I have feelings for someone.
Right. But then when you're there for someone emotionally, I'm just saying it's also very intimate. So
Yeah, it
monogamy
is.
rules out one type of intimacy and favors another type of intimacy, or doesn't address it, or we live under a construct that doesn't explore what emotional polygamy, I guess, looks like.
Yeah.
You know, or several partners playing roles that serve a being's core fundamentals.
Yeah, and then you take it to like, then everything in life is a partnership. Like every single relationship you have is a partnership. So then it's like, that just hasn't really been familiarized.
Yeah, like if you get in an Uber with someone, you have a relationship with that driver, whether you like it or not. It could be a good one, it could be a passive one. You could not say a word, but that entity from the two of you sharing space together is now holding data. You'll remember each other. If you were asked about the other, like if a police person asked you about how were they, you'd be able to say, well, you know, they were this, they were that. You'd have knowledge of them. You may not have too much wisdom from them because you didn't interact. So when you're sharing philosophical ideas, you're rubbing off on each other.
Yeah.
So every friend you have, you bring that energy into your life, whether you know it or not. Whether you bring that to your other partnerships, intimate or not.
My acting coach said something insane last night.
Please.
He was like, stop pretending that you're the same person to everyone in your life.
Please stop pretending that.
Because you're not. Because you can't be. Because
no, it wouldn't serve them, and it wouldn't serve you.
exactly.
You address people differently, don't you? I speak to little old ladies differently than I speak to, you know, a jack guy
Exactly.
at the gym.
Yeah, and those
And that's cool.
places,
And I
it
respect
comes
them
from
both.
different places.
Yeah, I
within
respect
you.
them both. Hey, you're out here getting it, man. What's up, dude? Like, you know, don't eat me. And this lady over here, I'm like, how's your day? Like, can I help you? Like, that's kind of the energy. Whereas, like, I like them both, but I'm completely different. Their experience of me has been different. They can both tell that, hey, I'm a pretty straightforward, friendly guy, but like other than that, completely different.
Yeah.
So you're right. There's no there's a center line, but there's subjectivity to every interaction.
Yeah, there's
you have.
nuance between everything.
So
Yeah, it's wild.
that's where I think I get fucked up. I'm like, what are you like? What are you like with these people?
Yeah.
I don't get to see that. I think that's a
Yeah.
cause of jealousy. I think I'm jealous of like the version that you may be becoming. I'm also concerned that you're giving your time. Sorry to call you out on this, but like
I don't care.
Winnie serves people by like letting them talk at her a lot. And I'm concerned for that, because I'm like, what type of energy are you soaking up? And people just hold on to your energy and fucking ride it until like, and you'll just keep going, yeah, until you're drained. And I'm scared for you, because I see you being taken advantage of energetically out there.
I hear you, but you also you're making assumptions based on past versions of me.
That's right.
And that's fair, because that's what I've been doing with you,
that's
too.
Knowledge. That's knowledge.
Yeah.
But use the wisdom to say, okay, philosophically, they're making an attempt to evolve into different behavior. So I need to respect that.
Yeah.
That's true.
We also value community differently, I think.
You get under them, I get over them. Meaning,
if that's how you like to look at it, then yes.
When I see a group of people, it is my inclination to make sure there's a leader. I don't care if I'm the leader. I just make sure there's a leader and support the mission. Whatever we're doing as a group together, I support the mission. So I'm looking to contribute. So I accidentally become a leader in many forms, because I'm like, hey, I'll help contribute this department at least. I don't want to do everything. But I connect with the people who are helping the mission move. And I think Winnie often goes and listens to the people in the crowd. So we're at a very good where she hears the word on the street, I hear the word in the boardroom. And when we connect, we're like, we know what people want. Together, it's disciplined stoners. But honestly, it is, because what we think people want is always both, which is everything, which is amazing, which is the feminine and the masculine, the wisdom and the knowledge. The funny thing about the balance of jealousy is I like sometimes that Winnie's jealous. I like being liked. I like being wanted. Yeah. And I don't want you to feel pain, and I want you to know that I would never just disappear with some bitch. But it's cool. Whether you know it or not, there's a part of you that's probably glad that I'm willing to fight for you.
Fuck.
That's a real thing too.
That's a construct for sure.
Don't you think that if I didn't give a fuck who you were with, you came home at midnight and I didn't ask any questions,
that would be worse for sure.
That's neglect. You don't want neglect either.
No, there's an ideal in
what the fuck? This is bullshit. This is all subjective bullshit. It's
it is.
I want you to be exactly like this.
Yeah.
And that's so unsustainable.
Yeah.
And I think the rope of a relationship is to okay, I'm gonna hold on to the fundamental parts that I am, but release around these other parts that maybe I'm open to evolving or open to critiquing. And so you both put some things on the table and you both shake out the rope and it just causalities affect each other, and you get to say if these growth periods are making you feel good or not. Because everything Wynn has called me out on, it's not I'm just going, yeah, oh yeah. I'm shit, let's explore why make these decisions. Nothing breathtakingly wrong or traumatic or boundary crossing crazy.
I also want to say that
But it's good to explore and take the feedback and understand, hey, maybe this behavior isn't going to serve me in a greater part of my life, and that's my partner asking me to consider this, and for me to say fuck off just because I feel like they're saying I'm doing something wrong. It would be unwise of me to not take that feedback that a part of my behavior is displeasing to them. I would be concerned. You know what I mean? If they were nope, well, not at all. You're completely wrong. That's not what we agreed to do.
All that, yeah, exactly. And all that is defensiveness.
Yeah.
All that is fear. When you break it down, that it's just, and when we talked, it was intellectually we found out we are afraid that we'll lose each other. Like that's the stem of all of this. And to like walk ourselves through that was really powerful. But it doesn't necessarily soothe any feelings in the moment yet to know that intellectually.
It's not a result. Understanding isn't a result.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. And that's why we sometimes need to move beyond understanding. That's been a big thing in our household too, where it's like, maybe we don't need to be understood all the time, even though it feels shitty to be misunderstood, you know?
Bars.
Fuck. I don't know. Yeah. So.
Well, that's where, like, you know how you're always concerned with people liking you or not?
Yes.
You gotta get over that.
Yeah, you got to. It'll keep you stuck. So, wow, what a great conversation. I think it might be time. I think it might be time for a fun. Might be time for a hijack the fun fact. I went into conversation and then I didn't have not anything more to say. So I relied on the fun fact. Now it's time for a fun fact.
Man, that jealousy was good.
Fun fact.
You know, also, you just can't hate on someone for hitting on your person because they're hot as fuck.
Yeah. I would say that you probably get hit on more than I do.
I'd agree. I get men and women hitting on me a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you get women hitting on you too a lot.
I would still say you're probably up on.
I agree.
Okay. Fred A. Birchmore, 25, circled the globe by bicycle in 1935. The entire trip through Europe, Asia, and the United States covered 40,000 miles. He pedaled about 25,000 miles. The rest was traveled by boat. He wore out seven sets of tires. I just think that is so. Let's think about where the world was in 1935. Like, we may think, oh, why didn't he head over to Australia or whatever now? But, like, that is so impressive and must have taken so long.
Yeah, he still went completely around the world, though. So, like, Europe, Asia, United States, you know, like this.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you go, whatever route you take around the world, you don't have to go up and down.
Okay.
You can go around the world.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah. And by boat, so there was no planes.
Yeah, in 1935, or there was no like accessible.
It wasn't
planes.
like you could grab a coach. You right now you
planes.
can show up to a building called the airport, give them your credit card, and ask to go somewhere, and you will get on a big metal tube to there. That's the reality we're living in. That's fucking cool.
That's so cool.
You can see me pulling up in a two-seater with the bass leaking and some ball sneakers and a wife beater, 3 gold chains and an old beeper. Creepy crawl, creeping, dropping hot heaters. We beyond leaders when I'm balls deepin'.
Up all night on the grind, so in line like you gotta be.
Good times.
Okay. Would you like to read something?
Yes. Sam was gonna get some pictures of us as we were doing this.
Oh, I need to start getting ready for my audition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But that's so kind.
It's 11:11 today.
11:11, yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Okay, instead of reading something, maybe I'll just pull something up and let Neville Goddard read it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go Neville Goddard. And since it's 11:11, I'll go the 11th video down. This is something I do. It's called like roulette. So it's a Neville roulette. Often it's Abraham Hicks roulette. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's upcoming.
Oh, wow.
That's so funny.
Well, watch. You can put that for watch later or notify me or something. That's obviously something you need to watch.
I love Brian Scott. He's awesome. Oh, it premieres on the 22nd, which 30,000 Feet drops on November 22nd. with Jam.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it was supposed to be December, but I accidentally put 2020 or 2022 November 22nd because I'm like, I don't have a song for then, and that's a magical date.
Okay, well, while you decide, I want to tell my friends in the United States that Astonishing Tales of Terror, Rocktopusy, is available on Amazon Prime. I think it is a rental, but I don't think it's that much.
Check it out. Winnie's so good.
Yeah,
Our
I haven't
friend
actually
Brigitte-
seen it yet, but it looks so cool. So if you want to check that out, we have Toronto friends or whoever wants to fly in and come to our December 9th show.
Yes.
It is underway. They've been putting in some crazy work. We're
It's-
going to sell out
Yeah.
way before
We're
December
a month away
9th.
and it's half sold out already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rhythm and Flow too. This is like my series, yo. This is like our series.
Yeah, so exciting. We have a plant workshop that we're doing tomorrow, but just so everyone knows,
Which is
keeps up
full.
with what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're talking meditation. We're gonna move our bodies, and Ellevan's gonna move us through some flow sequences. We're talking psilocybin. We're creating like a really just like nice, safe place to learn about these drugs and ourselves. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. So lots of cool things on the horizon for us. Keep up to date with us on Instagram, Discipline Stoners, and our individual ones, Winnie Clark and Ellevan Music.
And Patreon.
And
if you want.
Patreon.
Did you make a beautiful post where you were crying and everything?
Well, that was part of the last couple weeks that Mercury's been in
Tough stuff.
retrograde, and
Sunday night, Monday was fucking fucked.
honestly, 11
a
today,
great way.
like in my meditation, was the first day where I'm like, this is who I want to be in a long time. I haven't been doting on my negative feelings. I've given myself the space to feel them as they come up.
Love that.
So the processing is happening real time, which is very interesting and weird. And I feel like kind of silly doing that video still because I feel like it's clickbaity, but it's just what I was just going through some shit.
Clickbaity for our private audience of Patreoners.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, so I've pulled up Neville Goddard Order, Then Wait. And it's read by Josiah Brandt. Okay, and I pulled it to 11:11
Oh, cool.
to see what it has on 11:11 for us.
But who is God? Our own wonderful human imagination. Yes, even the earthquakes, the volcanoes, every horror of the world, and every lovely thing in the world. Our own wonderful human imagination did it. Because that is one with the Lord Jehovah. There is only one God, and there is no other God.
Yo,
Wow.
just like
Wow.
you are God. You are
You're
God.
God.
I'm God. You
We're
are God.
We're a little bloop of the one, and we're all observing ourselves dance and create.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what it just said.
And if you need a different word, make it a different word. But know
Yeah, a lot of people have
the divinity within
we've-
you.
Yeah, we've gotten over like the trigger of that word.
Yeah, because both of us were not about God for a second.
Yeah, like I was a confirmed Catholic, where it was like every Sunday it's like, okay, I'm happy to be here. What the fuck is this? Like, what type of bullshit is this? But then like basically through wanting to be more successful and finding meditation and finding self-awareness and finding reading and mentors and wisdom through knowledge, has led us here back to God, but in a new form, or back to a presentation of God, which is really just us, like those simple, subtle little moments inside. That's like who you are. Now, what you are is you open your eyes and you act and you create and you move. But like who you are, you never have to fight for that. You're the greatest everything that is ever, is in you, is in everything. So, and there's a wait list to be on Earth right now for spirits too. Pretty much the equivalent of like a wait list. I always just go there, just one little extra for my people who are really into it. So to be a soul having a human experience on Earth right now is mucho tremendioso. You know what I mean? Delicioso, if someone were to say. So congratulations that you're here. You're God.
Yeah, you are God. And also, I just realized that church is just pay what you can for a good show.
It's basically a show. It's a congregation. So it's like come together, meet each other. It's every show. It's pay what you can for a good show. Not funny. I love that.
You are awesome. Thank you for listening and watching. We love doing this.
Enjoy.
Happy Friday. Hope you have a great weekend.
Guys, it's fucking 11. Oh, 11, yeah. Good night.
Wow.
Great app.
Discipline. Stoners! We get high. And we do stuff.